unfortunately, there are 2 billion people in the world who don't have that basic access, who are either underbanked or unbanked altogether. And unfortunately, 90% of those people live in either Asia, Africa, or some of them in Latin America. And so that's a problem that we're trying to solve, which is a very, very big problem, right?
Having great conversation, gaining their knowledge and getting to understand what exactly is the vision behind starting such great innovations, right? FASSET has a longer vision to stay here for long-term goals. FASSET has been available as a key player into major segments of blockchain. Hello and welcome everyone to the Future Blockchain Summit podcast, live from the Dubai Harbour Future Blockchain Summit exhibition, the FinTech Surge, and a maniac of players over here, where we explore different innovations and future of the FinTech going further. So while exploring this, I got to know a bit more about how the finance and the blockchain and the banking system are going further. And then we had a chat with Mr. Saad, who is the SVP at the FASSET, which is the global leader into making banking, especially the digital banking, accessible to all. So first of all, hi Saad, how are you?
Doing well. Thank you for having me.
It's wonderful to see such great people over here, and especially when the giants like you, the SVPs or the VPs or the CEOs or the founders of big foundations like FASSET over here and having great conversation, gaining their knowledge and getting to understand what exactly is the vision behind starting such great innovations, right? So first of all, I'll ask you, what is the core vision about the FASSET and how do you take it forward?
Sure. Like I said, thank you for having me over here. It's a pleasure to be here and speak with all of you. The best way to think about FASSET is the next Revolut built for Asia and Africa, except that it's on-chain.
Yes.
And what we have is we have the world's first and only digital Islamic bank, which is built on stablecoin rails. And if you think about that for a minute, you know the enormity of it will be clear to you. That we've got a proposition which had not existed before FASSET was around, and we're building for 2 billion people across Asia and Africa.
And FASSET being available, I mean, I've seen you guys in multiple events, not just in UAE, but also in across this Southeast Asian market like Singapore and Hong Kong. FASSET is being available as a key player into major segments of blockchain events as well as different fintech events as well. So portraying FASSET as being a key player, like where the traditional finance fails, actually reaching the last mile, digital finance comes in, and you being a key player into providing and making it accessible for each and every person in this network, right? How do you make it possible? What is the key goals that you follow or the strategies that you follow?
Look, the problem that we're trying to solve is very simple, and it's based on a premise. We firmly believe at FASSET that the right to build wealth is universal, and every single person in the world, no matter who they are, where they're from, has that right to build wealth.
Yes.
Now, in order to build wealth, you need access to financial services and products. And unfortunately, there are 2 billion people in the world who don't have that basic access, who are either underbanked or unbanked altogether. And unfortunately, 90% of those people live in either Asia, Africa, or some of them in Latin America. And so that's a problem that we're trying to solve, which is a very, very big problem, right? And what we're doing is we're building solutions for these people. In terms of access, we have a mobile app that people can use across these markets to start investing and saving money. In terms of literacy, we have initiatives that we use to drive financial awareness amongst these people. And the response that we've seen is amazing. You mentioned being borderless. You mentioned, access. Yes. Right now, we have users across 125 countries and growing every single day.
And being borderless, being available everywhere. You recently got your license from Malaysia, right? How do you see this as an important aspect? Because being a financial institution in blockchain industry and you being a marketing guy, right? To gain someone's trust when it is related to the finance of someone person, it's very difficult, right? to actually gain someone's trust when money is involved. But you portraying the stories for Facet into multiple different regions, and also while being compliant and under following all the rules and regulations, right? How do you see compliance and marketing as two wheels for the same goal of going further?
Look, we are a regulatory first company by design.
Mhm.
And not only are we regulatory first, we're also completely Sharia compliant. And so we have very principled stances on these things, which we take very seriously, and that helps us build the trust and credibility with our users. You mentioned the recent banking license that we have. The reality is, Facet has been around for the last 6 years, and we've graduated into a bank now, but we've been operating even before this through the other licenses that we've had before this, right? Now, the point on trust is critical because it's something that we don't take lightly, and trust takes a lot of time to build. But there are two things that we feel are super critical to build trust. One is we solve real problems. So, for example, we don't do meme coins, we don't have gambling on our platform. We're very selective about what assets we put on the platform because we want to make sure that we have those assets that help people build wealth over time in line with our mission, which I spoke about. So that's one really important part of building trust. And then the other one is we want to make sure that we deliver on a promise to our users every single day. And that's not easy, but we set a very high bar for ourselves and we make sure that whatever we promise them, whether it's in terms of our products, our services, or our marketing, we're delivering on those promises day in and day out.
Absolutely. I mean, uh, when talking about what asset that you allow to the platform, it's very crucial because uh, it's not just like just another platform where you can trade your meme coins or something. It's Facet has a longer vision to stay here for long-term goals, right? That's because I have seen Facet grow from, like, I've been noticing myself Facet for last 5 years. Uh, I've seen initially when back in the day when this big conferences like IJON starting, and then I saw like Facet is like in each and every conference, and they keep on growing, and still kept the one core promise is to be secure and accessible, right? How do you keep your story aligned so well while keeping all the segments, like making sure it's well on the top of the tech side or on the legal side or in the marketing front?
Look, to be honest, when you have a mission like the one that we do, everything becomes easy. At the start, what I mentioned was our mission is to make sure that every person in the world has the right to build wealth, and we enable people to exercise that right. That is, it's such a grand vision that we have that when we come to work every single day, we want to make sure that we're building towards that vision one step at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And where we are today is that if you start opening your account on Facet, you can open a US dollar virtual IBAN account from anywhere in the world. You get a debit card that you can use anywhere where Visa is accepted. So you can use your crypto through that debit card.
Which is getting mainstream nowadays, paying
Exactly,
through
right? So
cryptos.
this is the new product that we're launching fairly soon. So you're the first to hear about this. And then in terms of investment, we've got a wide variety of products, right? So you can invest obviously in crypto, but you can invest in US stocks, you can invest in digital gold, you can invest in ETFs like the S&P 500. And the idea is that one day you'll get your salary in Facet. And when you have that, you'll be able to make transfers through Facet, you'll be able to invest, save your money, spend through the debit card, everything on that one platform. So that is really what we're
So it's going to
headed
be a
towards.
complete ecosystem, what allowing all side of asset classes.
Like I said, the next Revolut, but we're on chain.
That's wonderful to hear. Last question from you. You've been to market for a very long, right? Working as a marketing giant and performing multiple segments in terms of growth for Facet as well as for your previous experience. What could be one advice that would you like to give to us or the audience?
From a marketing
Yes.
perspective, so what I would say is for all you marketeers and would-be marketeers out there, it is super critical for you to be close to your customer. Put yourselves in their shoes, speak to them every single day, understand their challenges, the problems that they go through, feel their pain. And that's the only way you'll be able to build solutions and products for them and speak to them in their language.
Well, thank you so much, Saj, for this wonderful insight and amazing conversation. People like you make this conversation successful, and the conferences, because this is what we are all here for, to learn more and understand how the future is going to further. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure and always great to be here at GITEX.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.